Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of the Tech ChitChat Show. My name is Ken from Northern Viking Everyday and Northern Viking Explorer on YouTube. I'm here with my co-host, Steven, 8-Bit Warrior. You can find him on Twitter at 8-Bit Warrior, and Steven Loney on YouTube. How are you this morning, Steven?
Hey, I'm doing really good. The sun is shining outside, and I'm good.
Yeah, after a bit of a hiatus, we are back here with episode 5. You've got your coffee all set. I know I have mine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, me too. All right. I know for myself this morning, I'm like, I looked out the window this morning and there was like this big truck sucking stuff out of the sewer pipes. So all the leaves and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be a quiet morning, but I think they're gone now. So we are all good. There's always noises when you film at home. Are all the noises gone at your house, or they're just?
Yeah, I've locked all the doors, and I got RTX Voice running this morning, so I think we're good.
Perfect. Perfect. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, I think so. Let me think about it. Yeah, must have been a good weekend. So
if you can't remember,
well, I actually participated in a bit of a game jam where you have like 48 hours to make something for game programming, and I half-heartedly did it. So I was busy doing that. And
so were you awake for 48 hours straight?
Absolutely not. No.
I remember one time you told me you did one of those and you slept in your car in a parking lot so you could get back to like it first thing in the morning. So
that's true. And if I can find it, I'll find a screenshot of it as evidence.
That's awesome.
I was younger. Now I'm like,
My weekend was a little bit easier than yours then because I ate a big ice cream cone.
Yeah, you were telling me that was one scoop.
This is a single scoop, but there's 3 scoops on it. I don't know. Awesome. Well, let's dive right into it. I know it's been a little bit since we've done this, but let's roll right into it. And the first thing we actually want to talk about, this was news probably, I want to say a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, is LG closing their phone division. This is kind of crazy news. Both you and I know my first Android phone. So I had an iPhone before that, but my first Android phone was an LG. I think we had the same one, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was the LG Optimus One.
Optimus. This sounds like a transformer.
I think I actually have it around the corner. I'd pull it out if I knew where it was exactly, but it was just cute. It's actually still one of my favorite form factor phones. It's small and just feels like I actually would like a phone that size. Anyways, it's actually one of my favorite form factor phones, actually.
Yeah, no, I've had several LG phones over the years. My wife has as well. The LG, I want to say, the numbers are going away from me. Like the 4 maybe, or the 6.
Yeah, so I know that you and I both have had the G3.
Oh, G3, yeah.
And which was great. And I had it up until like not too long ago, and I was going to even get like the battery replaced and keep it going, and then it finally broke it after years of having it by accident.
Yeah.
But that thing was great. The LG G3
yeah.
was fantastic. And I think you guys, I think he also had the G5, I think.
Yeah, maybe it was the G5. All the numbers are blending together, all the phones over the years, and then they go to hand-me-downs for the kids, and I just I kind of can't keep track of the numbers. I know they were LGs for sure.
Right.
But this is pretty big news. I mean, we were both reading through this article, and they're expecting everything to wind down by the end of July.
Right.
But it was there was a couple of stats in here that I know surprised both of us. The one was that they were still, was it the 3rd large provider of phones in the US?
Yeah. So still like the 3rd largest, apparently the 3rd largest dealer of phones in America, which is kind of a big deal, I would think. But even with that said, I guess it's not good enough to be 3rd in America, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if you go to a cell phone store here in Canada, I mean, there was a lot of LG phones that you could choose from. I think because of cost was one of the biggest things. But it looks like their numbers were sliding in the rest of the world. So that's probably
so reading here in this article, it seemed to be that a lot of competition has pushed in from the Chinese market. And so globally, Chinese phones have been taking more of that market and kind of probably pushing LG out. So again, in North America here, we've still largely seen LG, but I guess globally, it was a big impact.
Well, even you're seeing all sorts of other brands, OnePlus, I mean, Huawei, you see ads for all the time. I just saw last week there's a new Nokia phone coming out trying to mimic the look of the old one. But yeah, that's a smartphone. So there's still a lot of competition in there. One thing I don't like about them leaving is I do believe that their flagship phones help keep pricing down on other flagship phones.
Right.
Just because they had a lot of features. Maybe they weren't the best phone, but they had a lot of features for the money. And I mean, I never had a problem with it breaking. They always worked for us throughout our contract or whatever. So yeah, it's interesting to see them go. Let's see if they, who knows, come back down the road. I probably doubt it, but
yeah,
it's it's not the first where you see phone companies leave and then come back down the road as well.
Yeah, I agree. I hope that I hope they do make a comeback, because I mean, they were always one of my top 3 picks of a phone. If I go to a place to get a new phone, they were one of the top picks. I actually for a long time preferred LG over Samsung. I actually was not even a big fan of Samsung design and stuff. And LG seemed to fit more the style of phone I was going after. So yeah, it's kind of like, okay, well, now, so for me, I'm hoping that the form factors of phones that I don't like become more prominent with LG gone, because they were actually designing kind of more what I liked. So it's like, oh no. And now with that said, you know, so me, my backup now is probably like Motorola or something. You know, they're not, where are they at too? But
well, I mean, if you go to Costco, a lot of their lower cost phones are Motorola here in Canada anyway. I've noticed they've got a few different models. I was there last week. So that would be something as well.
And that's kind of my backup now, I guess, is Motorola at this case. Maybe Motorola is taking that anyway, that part of the market. I don't know. But
if I remember correctly, Google, like one of their flagship phones was a LG as well. You know how, I can't remember what it was called, but I believe one of theirs was made by LG back in the day, maybe 6-7 years ago. So yeah, it's they've kind of it's interesting to see where they'll be heading.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive into the next one. This is kind of news coming out for tomorrow. My son was talking about this actually quite a bit. I don't know if cloud-based gaming. We've talked about Stadia, I think, in the past a little bit. But now Microsoft xCloud beta is arriving for iOS and PC this week, I believe, PC. Or iOS and PC.
It's like iOS. What is iOS?
Well, hey, I'm abbreviating the abbreviating. I don't know. iOS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you not call it iOS?
No, I don't. I do not. I don't know who does, except for you.
No, I do.
Learn something every day.
There you go. So Microsoft's cloud-based gaming thoughts.
Well, we were just talking briefly about this beforehand, and it's kind of like, so with Google Stadia, I don't like it. I'm just biased by default, biased against the whole thing. But when I see this about Microsoft, I'm like, I'm actually okay with this. And I think the reason is that, like, Microsoft has their main gaming platform. You can play Windows gaming on PC and on console. You got with the Xbox, and the streaming service has like like plan B for people who just don't have consoles or PCs as to join in optionally. I'm not against that. Like, this is like, hey, if you don't have a PC or gaming console, you can still play the games. It won't be one for one local on your own hardware, but you can still join in. I'm okay with this. So I was thinking, is it right that I'm like not against Google and their platform, but I'm okay with this when they're effectively largely the same thing? You know?
Well, yeah, for sure. I thought the same thing. It's somehow because Xbox is Xbox and they've done it in gaming before. It just seems like more trustworthy that this would happen. The interesting thing is tomorrow Apple has their big announcement. Who knows what that's going to include with their iPads, and who knows if there's computers or whatnot. So this is kind of interesting that this coincides with with that.
Yeah, which is interesting because there's been apparently a bit of some, I don't want to say tension, but wrestling over the Apple App Store and with Microsoft trying to get the Stream Cloud system onto there, because Apple is kind of a walled garden, right? And they like to keep everything, locked up tight. And so it seems that Microsoft has to get approval for per game to be streamed. Like they have to submit, Microsoft has to individually submit each game to be approved. Where on Android, you just download the whole Microsoft xCloud and you go in and then you just select the game from there or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how they work that out.
Well, and this article talks about that as well, that it launched actually on Android tablets last year already. Right. So,
and so
Microsoft, the fact that it's coming to Apple devices is interesting.
So in this article actually says that Microsoft branded the iOS a bad experience for consumers in regards to how they had to work with that platform. So if it gets brought up tomorrow at the Apple event, it'd be interesting to see if there's been any wiggle room or,
Yeah. Well, and so if you don't know how this works, they have, what's it called? The Xbox Game Pass, I guess, Ultimate or something like that, where it gives you pay a monthly subscription and you have access to over 100 games. So you don't actually even necessarily need to buy games. You pay a monthly fee and you can play all those games, which is kind of cool as well. So, I mean, maybe rather than buying a game every few months, you pay the subscription service and you can just play all of those games. Right. It is definitely a different concept of buying a cartridge, putting it in your machine. I think it's hard because as kind of the collector side of video gaming for me, I've always struggled with digital content because I like having I mean, I've got like the Zelda collector's editions, a couple of those, and some other cool games. And it's always nice to have the box and different things because it's something physical and tangible. So that side of me doesn't like it. I've always liked to have the case, but maybe that's just me. Maybe a younger generation doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, and that's changing with me. I'm still wrestling with that because sometimes I just don't care. I'm now largely a PC Steam gamer, and that collection has remained consistent. Even so when I use Steam, I feel like I own those games, even though they're digital. So I feel like Steam does it right.
Yeah. That being said, my son collects games, and he wanted the new Mario, I think it was the Sunshine package that was limited edition. He wanted that, the hard copy of that. He wanted to buy the NES
Mario
Classic.
All-Stars 35.
Yeah. And he wanted to buy the NES Classic and the Super Nintendo Classic consoles. And so it's just having there's something that's nice about the tangibility. I don't know if that's a word.
Yes, I think so.
Of that. So I know. Okay, the next topic I know is near and dear to you. I saw this and I'm like, oh, Stephen will love this.
And you were not wrong.
Yeah. So do you want to kind of take this one away?
Yeah. So we were talking beforehand and we were debating on what to call this article, like this topic, and specifically said, no, APU.
And I said, I don't know what an APU is.
Yeah. And I'm sure someone out there will correct me and be like, well, technically but effectively for every day, it's like usually you have a CPU, the central processing unit, like your Intel's, AMD, Ryzen chips, whatever, all that. And you got the GPU, like the Nvidia GeForce cards and whatever, right? Just put them together in a single die, a single processor, and that's your APU effectively.
Okay, gotcha.
So like consoles are all like APUs, like I guess even the current ones. Usually like the consoles are APUs. They try to fit the GPU and CPU on the same die. So with these new chipsets, with the AMD Ryzen 5000, so it's the latest series of Ryzen chipsets packaged with Vega graphics, which is nothing new. They've been doing this for the other series of APUs, CPU, GPUs as well. But this just seems like a really all-around nice package. So if you buy this CPU, you don't have to worry about buying a discrete GPU. Like you still can use a discrete GPU, but this is quite a competent has quite a bit of competent graphical power in it.
Mm-hmm.
So this was cool.
It talks here that these would be able to play mid-range games, so Overwatch, Rocket League, Fortnite, etc., right off of the processor.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, that's right. And so again, this is nothing new, but it just seems like a really good, like these are just pretty powerful chips now. Like if you just want to get like a small form factor PC to put somewhere next to a TV, you just like this just allows for that.
So how does this differ? So say you go buy a $600 laptop. It says it has integrated graphics in it. How does this differ from that?
So this would be integrated graphics.
Is it different than what we've seen in that, or
no? It's not different. This is just the improvement, just over the previous generations.
Okay.
But this just seems like a really nice performance here. So first, with that said, there's a big difference here between the Intel integrated graphics and the AMD the AMD integrated graphics. Like the AMD graphics, integrated graphics have been much more competent over the years. Like if you went to buy a laptop and they both have integrated graphics, you'd want to go with the AMD one if gaming is a factor for you. So that's starting to change with more modern Intel integrated graphics. They're trying to improve that, but by and large, in the past, you've wanted AMD graphics if you're doing integrated. And so what's crazy about this? So the 5700G is their flagship one here for this for the APU here, and it's 8 cores and 16 threads, and with a top boost clock of 4.6 gigahertz. Like, I'm sorry, but that's pretty fast. Like,
yeah.
And it's a 65 watt TDP. So there's a lower power 35 watt one, which will kind of more limit the boost clocks and stuff, and be better for heat. So if you need like one that runs cooler, that would be good. But there's a 65 watt one. So even if you're like doing like video editing and stuff, you might be able to get away with just using this thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure how the Vega graphics deal with encoding, decoding video files and that. So, but like, if they do that well, then even for editing rigs, you could possibly just use this thing and not even need a discrete GPU. Like, I mean,
so essentially, it's just a big boost in GPU power, essentially, over what we've seen in previous generations. Is that kind of?
I don't even know if it's a huge boost over it, but it just, I don't know. At this point. At this point, with just how all around performant this chip is, I just see it covering like a majority of use cases what people need now. Where you like legitimately, again, even for mid range gaming, you can use this thing, and it's just getting kind of cool to see, how really, Anyways, I like this stuff because it just allows you to make really cool small builds, and you can just create these really small
Yeah, well, you don't need a massive like desktop anymore, especially if you're not. I mean, you and I, we kind of talk a lot about how much our computer gets bogged down when we're video editing and that sort of thing. But for the average person, this will maybe help shrink your computer size a little bit, or having a small form factor computer that's more powerful. So that's awesome. I think I'm excited to see those. I don't think they were. It said they were delayed a little bit. They're not quite out yet, but they will be coming down the road. All right, the next one's kind of a fun one. I saw this. I'm like, would I do this? Would you order pizza from an autonomous delivery vehicle? So that's kind of interesting. This week, Domino's in a suburb in Houston is going to start delivering pizzas in these autonomous vehicles. And from what I see, it comes to your house, you punch in a code, grab your pizza, and then it drives away. I don't know what to think here. I've seen videos on the news of people pushing their button on their Tesla and it's supposed to come pick them up at the front door of the mall, and it's like hitting other cars and driving over curbs and things. So I don't know what to think. It'd be kind of cool.
Um, like I don't like it, but that might just me like not like. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, okay, here's the question then for you. Would you prefer to have your pizza delivered with a drone?
No.
Because I'm hearing stuff about drone deliveries and stuff. I believe here in BC there was, if I remember correctly, there was it wasn't pizza, but it was another company delivering stuff with drones over on the island. So
I don't like this. I don't like this. I actually want to like see a person deliver stuff to me. I actually want to interact with people.
Yeah.
I don't want a future of robots. Like just
Honestly, we order from Domino's now and then, and we always drive there. They're a few blocks away because by the time they're so quick. But by the time I just punch it in here on my computer and go there, it's done, and
right.
it's just fast. But that's just convenient for us.
Yeah. But there's just something about like I don't know. How automated do we need the future that like pizza already is like the lazy meal that we get? Like what are we having tonight? I don't know. Let's get pizza. Okay, now we're gonna have robots like serve it for like
Okay, at least there's still people making the pizza at our Domino's. It's not
I
a
hope
robot.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the oven is kind of a robot. It's a conveyor belt. So I don't know.
Okay, I don't know if that counts as a robot, but sure.
So it's just interesting. Yeah, I think if I saw one of these driving down the road, I'd try to stay away from it because I don't trust that it's gonna drive into me.
Yeah, I know.
And
This is a whole different issue. This is like a whole automated vehicle issue in general, just attached with pizza.
Well, okay. So that being said, this is all about like this kind of section's all about businesses trying to make life easier for you, I guess. Um, Amazon wants to put together your furniture for you, so I don't know. I mean, we've all struggled with IKEA furniture trying to put it together. If you buy furniture from Amazon now, they're talking about putting it together for you. I guess it's a good idea. There's a lot of people who can't put together furniture, so
unlike the other article, this is not robot automation. This is
no,
like,
this is human automation.
this is human automation. This is back to more normalcy, but still
but
not
a good concept.
Okay, to be fair though, I was a courier for some time, not long ago, and I actually did have to like dismantle a table and put a table together as a courier. So I've already done this technically. Like, and I don't think it was even part of my job description, but it ended up happening anyway. So
Well, and I think what's happening here, other companies like Wayfair are already doing this, so they're just trying to keep up. But the good thing about this is you can order furniture from Amazon, have them set it up for you while a robot delivers you a pizza, and you sit on the floor watching everybody.
Can we have a future where we actually do stuff?
Let's just all be super lazy.
It's just, I'm getting like, what's that movie with Wally? Yeah, I'm just seeing like a Wally future here, and
yeah, and I say that, and I understand that not everybody can put together their own furniture, and we all have different skills. So I think this is a great thing that Amazon's doing.
The only thing is that like I could actually see this. So again, having been a courier for some time, I could see where as a courier, it's like, okay, I signed up to be a driver, not to put furniture together. There's actually a difference here. And it may not seem like a big deal, but now you need to train your drivers on how to put together various sorts of things. And you may actually lose some drivers saying, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You might have drivers with certain disabilities that just, for certain reasons, they don't want to be in people's homes. They don't want to be that, some couriers may not be the most social people. You may not want them in your home. So it's just kind of like, what kind of frustration will it add to the drivers? Is it like working at a restaurant and they just doubled the number of items you have to learn how to make?
Yeah.
And it's like, it sounds good, but you're actually then, is it causing frustration on the courier end that just, Or yeah.
To me, it almost seems like you're getting your hand in one too many pots, and maybe they should just have someone they refer to put stuff together. But
right,
but regardless, it's a kind of a fun little topic.
Or just get the family member that knows what they're doing.
That's true.
That's what family's for, right?
Hey, Steven, want to help me fix my computer?
No. Well, actually, yes, I do.
Who do I call when I'm like smashing my computer screen? I usually call you.
Well, soon you can just call Amazon. So
that's true. The driver will fix it for me. All right, the next one. We talked about this, I don't even remember, a couple episodes ago, maybe. We haven't done that many episodes. So in the last 4 episodes, we've talked about this somewhere.
Right.
And it's called Deskreen. And if you didn't watch that or listen to that episode, Deskreen is some software that allows you to, for free, other than you need to buy a dongle, use a phone, a tablet, a laptop, or even a smart TV as a second monitor for your computer. And it does that virtually. You put a little dongle in like this. So this is the DV port one, I believe. Is that what it's called? I think. And then my
brain's just shut down. I can't remember. Yeah, the DP port. I think DisplayPort.
DisplayPort. Sorry, not DV. Yeah, DisplayPort. They sell them for HDMI as well. And you plug that into your computer, and then you scan a code on the screen, and that allows you to, through Wi-Fi and web-based software, you can use any device basically as a second monitor. And we both tried this out, and it seemed to work pretty good. There was a little bit of lag, which would be expected because you are running it over a Wi-Fi signal, but it worked really good if you're wanting to use your phone or a tablet as a second monitor. And you can adjust it around if you want it on this side or you want it on this side or above, you could do that. And it's just really handy to have extra space for working. What were your thoughts on using this software, Stephen?
Yeah, so I liked it. So yeah, again, right. So it was very easy to set up. You get one of those dongles, you put it in, and it picks up. It basically allows your phone to be picked up as an actual monitor, so you're not muddling around with stuff. It's just like any other monitor in the Windows setup. You just place it where you want it. It was easy to work with. I didn't have a problem with it. It was actually really painless to get working, and I found the quality to be very good. Again, like a little bit of lag, but I found it acceptable and not an irritation. And for me, it's like I had been looking for other solutions for this to do this kind of thing, and this is the first one that I felt was like actually competent and actually like yes, I'd be willing to use this. And if I was at a coffee shop and I had a second, I don't know if it would cause issues on the local network to work there, but anyways, if I was working on my laptop even from home and wanted just a second little screen next to me, this was competent and like enough, and the little bit of a lag was like worth it. Yeah. It's for like secondary things you need to have like documentation next to you or secondary things. Yeah. I found it really good. The quality was really good. And given that the developer seems to still be like a newer thing and it seems like it can improve over time, I just see it only getting better. And what there is now, I give it my seal of approval, honestly. I think it's been great.
No, it was really good. And it's available for Windows, Mac, and Linux. And I actually did a video on my Northern Viking Everyday channel. It actually came out this morning. Maybe we can put a link to that below in the description if you do want to watch that. The software, it was easy to use, easy to set up. And I think they did a really good job on that. So, and again, the software is free of charge to download. The only thing you need to buy is one of these dongles, and they're really quite cheap. Probably $7 US type of thing for something like that. So and they've got multi-packs.
The developer is hoping in the future to actually even remove the requirement for that dongle too. So if all goes well, that won't even be needed sometime in the future.
Yeah, so. No, that's awesome. I think it was, like I said, super easy to use. We have one last thing we kind of want to chat about is, and it's not all that long, but RTX Voice. I know you're using that right now.
Yeah.
RTX Voice. So it is coming to OBS Studio. So if you do recording or streaming with OBS Studio, like I do, let me bring this up here, the article, you'll be able to get native support for RTX Voice. And if you're not really sure what it is, it removes background noise. So typing or clicking or squeaky chairs, right, Stephen?
Yeah. I've a totally squeaky chair, but you guys can't hear it.
Yeah. So, or I mean, it takes away probably 90% of the noise, and it's a really cool thing.
It's really good.
Yeah, it works well. And originally, do you know which models of video cards RTX Voice works with? Or
yeah, so originally it was only working for the 2000 series Nvidia cards, so like the 2060, 2070, 2080, and that kind of stuff. But they did enable it for even the 1000 series. So if you have like I think the minimum you have to have, I think, is a 1060.
Okay.
So if you have a 1060, 1070, or 1080, right, yours should be good.
I know I have a 1070 and it works with mine. So
yeah, I have a 1070 as well, and I've been using it the whole time right now, so it works. So they didn't originally intend it for that, but people were like making it work anyway, and so they just kind of like patched it in and said, okay, 10 series, 1000 series cards can use it. So it's what I'm interested about, and of course, even anything newer can support it too, like 3000 series Nvidia cards. Now, mind you, that's Nvidia cards, not AMD, right? So if you're an AMD user, or Intel integrated chipset, you're out of luck. So with that said, in this article at least, I'm going to assume that those requirements are still a thing. I'm assuming that they haven't made it agnostic and open to AMD or older 900 series GTX cards and so forth. So I'm assuming the requirement's still there. So I haven't validated that, but I mean, and if that's the case, it's cool to see that it makes sense to add that to OBS. But I mean, it's not much of an issue to work with RTX separately already. It's kind of not a big deal. But if you're heavily into OBS and it's just one more thing integrated, I guess it's nice to have there. But the biggest thing I want to see is, are they still going to have that requirement for certain GPUs? And are they going to make it, will they have it work with 1000 series cards like we have? Or will they require 2000 series? Are they going to kind of change that requirement there? So
yeah, no, I'm hoping to try it out on there, and once I do, I can maybe report back and let you guys know how it works. So yeah, it's kind of a cool little feature there. All right, so we have a question of the day. Would you order your pizza from RoboCop? Would you order your pizza from an autonomous vehicle? My answer is yes. Stephen, your answer is?
Tentative at this moment, I'm leaning towards no.
No.
I'm scared. Like, I don't like RoboCop.
I prefer if my pizza came by drone. I just want to see pizzas flying through the sky.
That's not helping. That just makes it. That just makes it no.
So put your comment in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you if you would order your pizza from an autonomous vehicle or a drone, and
RoboCop.
Or RoboCop. That might be the most fun. But so awesome. That was episode 5 of the Tech ChitChat Show. Stephen, do you have any final thoughts?
Nope.
Not really.
That's all I got for this week. I'm just thinking of RoboCop now, and like my mind is like, I don't know.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching and listening to us today. Remember to subscribe here on YouTube, subscribe to us on our podcast, where you can find us all over the place. And we'd love to get some feedback from you. Until next time, thank you so much for watching and listening. Take care. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.